Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list. Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. In one of my earlier videos we talked about how the energies of the signs, the energies of the nakshatras and the energies of the planets play their role out and how they manifest in the horoscope in our lives. One of the things that I had clarified and also brought forth is that the sign energies are the foundation, and in fact they are almost at a nucleus level where energies manifesting in the horoscope are concerned. We also talked about how the nakshatra energies are like the DNA or the genetic material in the horoscopes. But one of the important things we also talked about was that the planetary energy is about the ambassadors. The planets act almost like ambassadors of the zodiac. What does that mean? Which means while planets will be able to carry a certain energy or they have certain attributes of energies within themselves and they represent certain energies, certain characteristics from one house to the other, and they carry the energies of the signs also and the houses they rule, which means the planets bring variable energy in the zodiac, in the horoscope. Now, how do we know, while planets carry that variable energy, whether the planets are strong enough to manifest good results or expected results or the positive results that they can bring in our horoscopes and in our lives? Now, one of the few elementary things is we check for the dignity of the planets, we check for the degrees of the planet, we check whether the planet is combusted or the planet is debilitated or the planet is eclipsed, or the planet is in a bad conjunction. These are visible factors which we can see in the horoscope. However, planets always don't behave as we expect them to behave just because they are combusted or just because they are eclipsed or just because they are debilitated. And hence, sometimes it becomes confusing. Why is a planet giving us good results? In fact, even if it's combusted or may be debilitated in its dasha or antardasha. There are various factors because of which planets give us good results. Many times it could be a good yoga, there could be good aspects on it. It could also be placed in a very strong nakshatra rule by itself. So unless we look at the nakshatra, where the planet is placed, whether the nakshatra is ruled by itself or it's ruled by or a friendly planet to it, we on the surface of it we may not be able to gauge whether the planet will give us good results or not. So how do we, through an attribute level, through manifestation level, know that the planet will give us or is giving us good results or not? A simple way to look at the planet's energies or the strength beyond the horoscope is its manifestation, its results. So how do we know whether the planet's coming dasha of a certain planet or antardasha of a planet may give us good results or not? It is one to look back on the other dashas and antardashas of the planet. So if the dasha is over, the mahadasha is over, then we know whether the dasha has been a favorable dasha for us or not. So the antardasha of the planet, when the mahadasha of another planet comes, we can more or less know how it may play out. However, if the mahadasha of the planet is not over, then a few previous antardashas with other planets may throw up some degree of signals to us whether the antardasha or the mahadasha of the planet oncoming dasha can be good for us or not. But in general, how do we know whether the planet is good in strength? Not just because of dignity or placement or aspects or debilitation or combustion, but in general, that it is through the results that the planet is giving us. So even if you are not able to deep down look into dashas, antardashas, what events play out and why they play out, sometimes it could also be because of a good yoga that was active during that time, or good transit was also active during that time, because of which some favorable results came upon us. For example, if we have passed through the dasha of Jupiter and now the dasha of Saturn is upon us, and if Saturn and Jupiter antardasha is coming, then we can always look back and check in general how the Jupiter dasha was. But we also know that the entire dasha of a planet is not good throughout. They are always ups and downs. So how do we know that the Mahadasha of a planet is the factor because of which the planet is strong, that the dasha has been good, or maybe certain other dashas of Jupiter with Sun, or Jupiter with Moon, or Jupiter with Venus may have been very good because the other planet is carrying positive energy. So how do we know whether Jupiter was the one which gave us good results or some other factors? Unless the entire Jupiter dasha has been fantastic for us, we may not know, and it is very rarely that happens that the entire Mahadasha of a planet is very, very good. So how do we know whether the planet is good or not? As I said, through its manifestation or its results. A simple way to do it is, for example, how do we know if the Sun is strong or weak in a horoscope? What does the Sun represent? Sun represents our prestige, our self-respect, our dignity, our pride, our motivation, and our results or our relations with the Father. If any of these are wanting or found challenging, or there is a struggle to acquire these, or to sustain these, or to carry these, then definitely Sun is weak. So if somebody doesn't care too much about being insulted and laughs insults off, or is not able to carry oneself with a lot of dignity, not looking for prestige, is okay even if people insult them, then probably the Sun is not so very strong. However, there is a thin line between carrying self-pride and self-respect and being arrogant. So if somebody is at the drop of a hat fighting because the person feels insulted, and gets into vociferous fights and challenges and battles and arguments, then also the Sun can be weak, or Sun can be afflicted even if not weak, because a person with a lot of dignity and a pride will not get into fights with every now and then and every Tom, Dick and Harry. If they feel that they are not being respected and they have a lot of value for their self-respect, for their prestige, they may not want to indulge in that situation or with those people, and may want to move on and will keep their distance. So that shows the sign of a good strong Sun, where you don't indulge with those people, you carry your dignity but you keep your distance, and you're not affected by every small slight, every small sarcasm, every small insinuation that may happen to you, but you carry yourself with dignity. If you're losing your cool at the drop of a hat because on taking every slight as an insult, then there is a challenge. Or if you are not able to carry yourself with dignity, and many times you feel that you compromise a lot on your pride, your self-respect, on your dignity, then surely there is a challenge with your Sun's energies. This can also be compounded by the fact when you look at the relations with the Father. If the relationship with the Father is a challenge, then it could be that the Sun is weak in your horoscope, and because of which all these factors are clear signs for you that there is a challenge in the Sun's energies in the horoscope. Now the other thing is also which houses the planet rules, the planetary energy rules. If those houses are also regularly giving you issues and challenges, then also you can say that the planet is weak. So if Sun rules, for example, the 11th house, which is the house of societal gains, societal network, your extended network, your friend circle, and you're not able to keep your friendships, you don't have a good friends or the social network, you don't have enough friends, or your friends are somebody who you have few friends and they too don't respect you, they're always making fun of you, and in general you don't have, I'm not saying mass following, but in general you're not well respected, you're not somebody who people look up to, or they invite you to the events. When you enter an event where a marriage event or whatever, people don't talk to you nicely, people don't ask you many things. If there is just one or two things they ask and then they move on, and there is no long conversation beyond 1 or 2 minutes where people are not indulging you, then clearly is a sign that you're not as socially accepted as you may want to. So these are other things where the house results should also favor you to show that the planet is strong. Let's go to the other luminary, Moon. If Moon is weak in your horoscope, clear signs could be your emotionality. So Moon brings in the emotional stability, a weak moon is which makes you over emotional or over cold. And so an afflicted moon can in fact make you diabolical. You start thinking about, and that's why lunacy or somebody with a bad moon can plan to take revenge on somebody, even murders and to take revenge. So a weak moon is one which will give you either over emotionality, or it can make you cold, where if you are not affected by somebody's sorrow, somebody else's sadness or happiness, if somebody is cracking a joke or laughing, it doesn't bring a smile to your face, or somebody's sadness or a sad event in somebody's life doesn't shake you up even a little bit. You don't feel emotional, your eyes don't moist every now and then because you hear such an event. Then there is a problem in your emotionality, in your emotional standing. The other thing is your relationship with the mother, and how your relation with the mother is, and whether you have generally this is not an easy thing, because mothers are affectionate in general. But if you have a problem with the mother, you have a challenge with the mother, the misunderstandings with the mother, or you want to keep a distance from the mother, or you get into arguments with the mother, then too the moon can be weak. And on top of that, the house that moon rules also is not giving you good results, then too it's also a challenge. Also, if you find that your thinking ability is not very strong, for example, you are not able to recall things, you are not able to remember things. When somebody says, oh, when did we go for a trip, and you are not able to place, not exact date, but you are not able to place events, you are not able to remember names of people, because names of people are very, very strongly related to relationship also. And you are not able to remember events, you are not able to remember things clearly, you have a not so good memory, especially related to people. I am not talking about studies. There you will have Mercury and Jupiter in the picture, then too you can have a weak moon. Now let's go to the first planet, innermost planet, which is Mercury. A clear sign of a weak Mercury is one, your analytical ability is affected. Your power of analysis, how strongly you are able to look at the good and bad, and also able to judge events or make choices easily. If you are regularly caught up whether I should do this or that, and you are not decisive, Mercury gives you a strong decision making ability and analysis. If you are very, very bad at numbers, small calculations you cannot do. For example, somebody asks you 5 multiplied by 6, and you have to think before you can say 30. Is 5 multiplied by 6 30? Yes, it is. So my Mercury is not bad. So in general, if your power of analysis, your power to be able to quantify things is weak, and your memory related to studies is not very good, then you may have a weak Mercury. One simple thing my guru used to tell me is that generally when he would ask us to do some calculations, whoever was the fastest, he would say you have a good Mercury, and those who are very strong, who are very weak, and who would take a lot of time, he would tell us that, he would joke with us that you seem to have a poor Mercury, so you strengthen your Mercury. So thankfully, at least I was among those people who was quick in my calculation. So if you are not able to calculate quickly, you are not able to make analytical decisions quickly, you are not able to make choices quickly, and your communication is a problem where you have to fumble for words, you are not able to get words quickly, or you generally run into misunderstanding with people. People are not able to understand what you are saying, or there is miscommunication, or you have to say something twice, thrice before people get you. Then too you could have a weak Mercury, or even an afflicted Mercury. Other thing is also, in general, whichever house Mercury rules in your horoscope, if it is not giving you good results or satisfactory results, or if it is generally throwing up challenges, then too you could say that Mercury is a problem or is weak in strength in your horoscope. Let's go to the next innermost planet, which is Venus. Simple thing about Venus is, how is your relationship with the opposite gender? If you are shy, you are not able to go and talk to the opposite gender with confidence, and you generally feel that the opposite gender doesn't like you or doesn't get attracted to you, and you feel less confidence when talking to the opposite gender, or intimacy events put you off, or scare you, and while indulging in the sexual act you feel less confident or you have challenges there, and then too, and you're not passionate enough because Venus also stands for passion, then too these are signs that Venus could be weak. The other attribute of Venus is relationships. In general, not only with the opposite gender, but in general, what kind of relationship you have, what kind of relationship you have with your friends, with your neighbors, with your parents, with your siblings, with the teachers or students or acquaintances or colleagues at work. So in general, if you are somebody who's very amiable and who's easy to get along with people, and you are also good looking, Venus also gives you the good looks, then you can say that Venus probably is stronger in your chart. Apart from it, if you are concerned about money matters, that means you are looking to get money, you are wanting to make money, and you are a little materialistic in your endeavors. You want that flashy car, you want those good looks, you want that good food to eat, and you are a foodie. There should be some one attribute about materialism where you feel attached to. Either you like good vehicles, or you like watches, or you like appliances, you like good clothes. Something should definitely attract your attention and you want that, you crave that. Then to your Venus is strong, because Venus gives you the craving towards those materialistic things also. And the last, again, which houses Venus rules? If those houses in your horoscope are not giving you satisfactory results, then maybe Venus is not very strong in your horoscope. And if you get into trouble with the opposite gender, that is another sign that Venus is afflicted or Venus is weak in the horoscope. And if relationships regularly break, if you have been into 2 or 3 relationships and nothing has sustained, and you don't have very strong results to state why, then Venus could be afflicted or weak in your horoscope. Then let's come to the next planet, which starts with Mars, the outer planet. In general, if you feel that you have low energy to do something, you don't feel motivated, you don't have strong willpower, you start something, then you give up too quickly, you're not able to sustain even for a little while, you struggle to look at goals, what goals should I have in life, what should I want to do, or what do I want to do, you feel lost, and you don't feel energy when you get out of work, or when you want to do anything. Within a short while you feel less energy, you don't want to do things, and you don't have willpower to complete it. Sometimes we start something and we need strong willpower to be able to complete it. If you don't have that, then it could be a sign of weak Mars. The other thing Mars does is, Mars also makes you very wanting to stand by your ideas and your plans and your thoughts. Mars makes you defend those things that you believe in. So if you believe in something very, very strongly, but in an argument or in something you tend to give up very, very quickly, then it could be that you have a weak Mars. It could also mean that you want to keep the relationship, because of which it is important. However, if you have a strong Mars, you will at least defend a little bit and not give up immediately. When somebody says, no, I don't think that is right, I don't think so, that is accurate, and while in your depth of your heart you believe it is right, yet you're quiet because you suddenly, it makes you less confident. Is it truly true? Am I right here? And you have doubts in your mind, and you don't even ever take a stand. Not taking a stand for yourself, of what you believe in, for your project, for your team, for your relations, for your brothers, for your community, for your country, shows that you may have a weak Mars. Afflicted Mars will make you fight, unnecessarily get into arguments. So trying to prove that you have a strong Mars, don't get into fights with people, don't argue with people. It should be something which comes to you in generally. If you're getting into fights, physical violent fights, shouting, screaming, then you have an afflicted Mars. That is not a strong Mars. A strong Mars makes you defend your ideas without shouting, screaming, fighting, fisticuffs, or getting into violent acts, or being too aggressive about it. If you are assertive, you stand by your ideas and thoughts, then generally Mars is strong in your horoscope. And as I said, the energy to be able to do things. If you lie down, you want to take a short nap, and within a short nap, within 45 minutes, an hour, when you get up, within you take tea or coffee and you feel energetic and you want to go, then you have a strong Mars. When somebody says something like, I want to do this, I want to do that, let's go trekking, or let's do some adventure things, and you have a go-getting spirit, even if you're tired, but the spirit is strong, then too you have a strong Mars. Strong Mars people will also be the people who can get up from sickness very quickly. So if you're sick and if it takes a long time for you to recuperate, it's a sign that your Mars may not be very, very strong. But if you're quickly getting back on feet, you heal very, very quickly, then you may have a strong Mars. And of course, the planets the houses which Mars rules in your horoscope, if they tend to give you challenging results or not good results, then you may have a weak Mars or an afflicted Mars in your horoscope. Then let's go to the next planet, Jupiter. Jupiter in general will give you the ability to make wise decisions, will help you analyze things in a more balanced manner. You will think not only from your side but from the other side also. Mercury makes you analytical, practical. Jupiter makes you wise. Jupiter doesn't make you too practical, in spite of sometimes feeling that the X step will make you is a more practical step, but you take Y move because you think that long term this will be useful for you or good for you, and the relationship will be intact, and it's a wise decision and it suits everybody. Then you go with it, which means sometimes you may even get into lose-win. You lose and the opposite party wins because you feel long term this is important. Mercury generally will not make you take a lose-win decision. Mercury will always look for a win-win relationship in an analytical manner, in a balanced manner. Jupiter is the one which may sometimes go for a stronger win or sometimes a stronger loss also, keeping in mind what the situation is rather than what is more practical. They will go for more logical things, in keeping in mind society, relations and number of factors. That is one sign where Jupiter is strong in your horoscope. And in general, you don't have many challenges with many people, and generally you get along well with people, even with those people who may not be your friends, but they tend to be okay with you or neutral with you. Then you may have a good Jupiter. The other thing is, if you have a very strong Mercury, then you'll be very sharp in your studies. But if you have a afflicted Mercury or if you have a weak Mercury, that means you pass exams, even with just okay marks you pass exams, and you rarely fail in your exams. Then too you have a strong Jupiter. Jupiter will take you over the line. Mercury connected to studies will take you over the line, and very, very strongly. Especially concerned with maths, sciences and such subjects, Mercury will take you over the line, and very, very strongly. Jupiter will take you over the line somehow. In philosophical studies and spiritual matters, and if you are more religious and you tend towards spirituality, then you also have a strong Jupiter. And in general, if you find that you don't hit a bad patch for a long time, there may be small ups and downs, but you don't continue with a very bad patch for a very long time, then you have a good Jupiter. If you go through a bad patch for a few months, or maybe a year or two, and then you come back on the track, then you have a strong Jupiter. And also whichever houses Jupiter rules, and Jupiter is also the planet of prosperity. So in general, if you are doing okay to good, then you will have a strong Jupiter. But if you feel that you are into loans and you're not able to sustain, life is a struggle, most of the things in your life is a struggle, then probably Jupiter is weak or afflicted in your horoscope. And of course, the houses that Jupiter rules in your horoscope, if they are not giving you good results, whichever houses Jupiter rules, then too it could be sign of a weak or a afflicted Jupiter. Last but not the least, Saturn. Saturn is a planet which makes you organized, punctual and also very committed. So if you feel punctuality is a problem, order and structure is a problem, following rules and regulations is a problem, commitment and loyalty is a problem, you have a weak constitution, especially related to bones and muscles, or getting up from a fracture takes time for you, especially related to bones or joints, that is a problem, then you may have a weak Saturn. And if you don't have patience, you immediately lose your cool, or if you are not able to get certain results, but if you are not able to persevere, and if you are not able to work hard for long hours, then too there is a challenge. If you are looking for change every now and then, you start doing something, within a few months or a year or two you want a change in the role or want to change the company, then too there could be a weak Saturn. One side is to have aspirations, strong aspirations to move ahead, but if you are not patient within the role, or you get frustrated, anxious quickly, and if you don't have good relationship with the supervisors, with the managers at work, that surely is a sign that Saturn could be weak. And other thing is, if you are not able to relate to the poorest of the poor, destitute people who are working below you, and if you don't feel soft towards them, the person who is working in your house, that you don't feel anything. If you feel that, okay, after a year or two you don't want to increase their salary, you don't look towards their issues with a kind heart, you don't give them, you don't talk to them nicely, you don't know much about their family, and you don't seem to be interested in their life, you just want the work to be done, then also it could be that you have a poor or a weak Saturn. And Saturn also is something which is a very karmic planet. So if you feel that you have if you get into challenges and issues, you always have this feeling that life is teaching me a lesson, something is getting at you, and somebody wants to get at me, or life in general is not good, and you're not grateful and you're not thankful, then too you could have a weak Saturn or an afflicted Saturn in your horoscope. And besides that, whichever house the Saturn rules, if that is giving you not good results generally, or too many challenges related to those houses are coming to you, then too you could have a weak Saturn. Now Rahu and Ketu are two mathematical points. There is nothing like Rahu is weak or Ketu is weak. Rahu or Ketu are more related to conjunction aspects on them or not. So I am not getting into Rahu or Ketu being weak in the horoscope. In general, if moon is very, very weak, I have seen that one of them gets strong. If moon is very, very weak, then Rahu tends to take the upper hand, and if moon is very, very strong, then Ketu seems to take the upper hand in your horoscope. So friends, basis what we have just discussed, look at where the challenges in life are, from which side, which planetary energy, which results are throwing up challenges, and basis that decide for yourself which planet needs to be strengthened. Strengthen those attributes, practice those things which are working contrary to you. If you feel Saturn is weak, then practice patience, practice perseverance, practice being humble and treating others well. If you feel that Sun is weak, then practice motivation, practice to have more, to carry yourself with dignity and not arrogance, which afflicted Sun can throw up at you. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me. The links given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan, signing off. Ciao.